If I were to get a job on a cruise ship, what would happen if I quit while out at sea? You'd be walking off the shortest available plank there, matey. Probably make you pay for all the stuff you need to buy. Apparently you still get flamed in a no stupid questions subreddit for asking what I think is an interesting hypothetical at least. They may not be able to force you to work, but I'm sure you signed a contract that you would have broken, which would have its own stipulations and penalties. I feel like they would want you to sign a contract for a specific length of time before they hired you. I don't know one way or the other, just doesn't make sense otherwise for the reason you raised. Depending on contract, if you are lucky they will fly you home at their earliest convenience while you are confined by security to your room, and will withhold any pay to pay for said transport, and the agency recruiter will get a shed load of grief for sending a flake that's if you behave and are nice about it. They could just drop you at next port and it's up to you to get home. It depends on your offense. You'll either be restricted to quarters until the ship returns home or dropped at the next port. It is their boat and you were only on board as an employee. Either way you'll pay for meals and anything else you need yourself. You mostly likely won't be able to buy a ticket midway as cruises are expensive and the tickets book out in advance. They can't force me to work. Remember, these companies are not bound to all US laws as they are not based in the States. You are probably signing a contract of a specified term with financial implications if you don't finish the term. This guy thinking fraud is a viable way to get a free cruise. Y'all are tweaking. OP is asking questions on no stupid questions and y'all are downvoting him for no reason. I'm curious about the answer to this too now. They'll fly you home with the next port and take the money from your pay. Essentially they buy your ticket home with your money for you. Sorry. If you were looking to do minimal work, they will find that out in 4 hours. You will probably find yourself off the boat at the first port wondering how to get back home. At every port there is a line of workers that would love to have the opportunity to work. If somebody isn't pulling their weight, they are easily replaceable. They will leave you at the next port. Source: 20 years ago I had a flaky good friend. She did this, they did that. Nothing will happen, but they are betting that you won't do that because of the implication. This thread is a mess. I worked cruise ship gigs as a professional musician. During that time I had a bandmate get fired in the middle of a run and one quit in the middle of the run. Both folks were let off when we got back to the main port of call. The dude who quit was asked to continue playing for the rest of the week, but he refused, so we had one less sax player that week. The guy who got fired was asked not to play but to simply enjoy the rest of the cruise as if he were a passenger. Swim Puto. You'll likely be confined to your staff bunk room or possibly a spare guest bedroom, and you will have any access revoked. You'll be kicked off at the next port with your stuff, given a flight or transport to your home country, and that will be it. This is if you don't have a minimum notice in your contract that says you need to complete your current cruise before you can quit. You don't get a free cruise. Staff get some of the best benefits, but even then, it's usually just free food from the staff canteen, a discount for certain amenities, and breaks when docked at port. If you quit, you lose all that, and they treat you like a stowaway. The Maritime Labor Convention mandates that companies must repatriate crew members to a place specified in their contract, whether they resign for a justifiable reason or are fired. Shipping companies must also carry insurance to ensure crew can be repatriated should the company go bust. Should a seafarer decide to just get off this bitch, they will be made to travel home on their own account. The company may agree to repatriate them to save a headache and withhold the money from their final salary payment. I had a friend who liked to brag that he was given a trial at sea because he got fired from a cruise ship for getting drunk and passing out in plain sight. In his case, they dropped him off at a hotel at the next port with a plane ticket. He kept getting drunk and missing his flight, but they paid an extra night in the hotel and paid for 3 flights before making it clear he was on his own after that.